In your previous lesson, you learned about reading notes in the treble clef. You've learned your C, your D, your E, your F, and your G. And you should have tried to work on the song Lightly Row. In this lesson, I'm going to go over that song, and I'm going to give you kind of some tips on how to play that song. Now, I really want to emphasize to you that you should be looking at your music and trying to play the song. Don't just skip ahead to this video and just kind of imitate me and do what I do. Eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to play less and less of these songs, and I'm just going to give you more and more tips. But let's get started. I know you're early in your learning, and we've just got to the point where we know this C position. So don't forget, you are in your C position. This is your 1 on C, your 2 on D, your 3 on E, your 4 on F, and your 5 on G. So C, D, E, F, and G. I'm going to play the whole song for you, then give you some tips. Here it is, Lightly Row. The first tip I want to give you is this. Look at the beginning of the song. And here's the next part. Did you notice how you skip from this finger to this finger, and then the next part you skip from this finger to this finger? As you gradually play this song more and more, try not to think so much of all the individual notes. I know that's hard at first because you're remembering where all your notes are, you're trying to remember your finger numbers. But think, I start up here, I skip down, and repeat. I start here, I skip down, and I repeat. Okay? Now for a while this is going to be hard to play because this 5 finger and this 4 finger and even this 3 finger, these are the weaker fingers of your right hand, or in your left hand too. Very, very weak fingers here. So when you play, it's going to be hard to use this finger by itself, particularly if you've never played piano before. Think about this just when you go about your daily life. You use these 3 fingers far more. When you write, you use these fingers. When you pick up things, you're using this part of the hand a lot more than you are these weaker fingers. Don't worry, as you play with these fingers, the 5, the 4, and the 3, eventually they'll get stronger. Now let's start from beginning. And we skip down. Now listen carefully to this next part. One more time, this second part of the first line. Did you notice what happened there? You went straight up. And then you got to the top and repeated 2 more times. So to recap this first part of the song, think skip down at the beginning, skip down. Now think starting on C and going straight up. Okay, let's look at the second half of the song. Listen to this part. I'll stop for a second. Haven't you just heard that part? This part is what you did just a few seconds ago. You see this in so many songs where one thing repeats over and over again. You have a similar pattern all the time. Now let's look at the last 2 measures of Lightly Row. I'll play it one more time. Look what I did. In the last half of the first part of the song, you went straight up. But in this part, look at what you do. I skipped up, skip, 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 I repeat, then I go way back down to here. Okay? So let's just recap the whole song, and then I'll do one playing of this song, and I'm just going to talk about the finger numbers, because I know in our last lesson, all we did was play with finger numbers. Gradually, we're going to start moving out of finger numbers, and we're going to start thinking more and more about notes. Not so much finger numbers, more and more about notes, because the goal of this class is to start learning the basics of music reading. So let's go for it. 5, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2, 1, 3, 5, 5, 1. And one more thing before we leave this song and we leave this lesson. I really don't want you to think so much about the timing or about the rhythm or about how long you hold a note. We're going to start focusing on rhythm very, very, very soon. But for now, we want to really get familiar with these 5 notes, C, D, E, F, and G. We want to be familiar with our finger numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we want to start learning how to read music. I add things on element by element by element. Some of you may already know how to read rhythms. That's great if you want to play this in perfect rhythm, but it's not such a big concern right now. Okay, I'll see you in lesson 3, where we're going to learn how to read notes in the left hand.